Loyalty feels solid until life shakes the ground beneath it. That's when it all starts to show. Most people never test those around them. They assume kindness means commitment, think shared memories equal unshakable bonds, and confuse noise for truth. But Stoicism teaches us something different. You don't know who's real until reality applies pressure. Not when things are easy, not when you're shining, but when the spotlight fades, when your strength slips, when you go silent. That's when loyalty either leans in or walks away. The hard truth: most people you call friends are just passengers in your success, orbiting you because it's convenient. When that convenience disappears, so do they. The Stoics weren't concerned with appearances. They were obsessed with essence, with truth, with testing what holds when everything else breaks. Today, we're diving deep into 5 loyalty tests that reveal who's real and who's just wearing a mask. If you're done building your life on shaky ground, subscribe for the version of you that wants truth over comfort, strength over illusion, and clarity over chaos. Let's walk this path deliberately, unshaken, and free. 1. Take back the spotlight. There's something strange that happens when you stop clapping for people. When you go quiet, not in anger, not in bitterness, but simply to observe, the room feels different. The energy shifts. You start noticing who was there for you and who was just there for the echo of your applause. Most of us don't want to believe that people around us are only interested in the benefits we bring. It's comforting to assume everyone's motives are pure, that friendships are deep, and that love is unconditional. But the Stoics didn't build their lives on assumptions. They built on clarity. They believed illusion is the most dangerous form of comfort. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If your thoughts are clouded by delusion, by the fantasy that everyone near you is real, you end up handing pieces of your peace to people who wouldn't flinch if you fell. This is where the first loyalty test begins. It's not dramatic, doesn't require confrontation, and doesn't need you to write anyone off or announce your silence like a grand event. Just take a breath. Stop being the one who always reaches out first, tagging them in posts, hyping up their wins, or constantly inviting them into your light. Take back the spotlight, not because you're bitter, but because it's time to see clearly. You'll notice something quickly. Those drawn to your energy for the right reasons won't flinch. They won't pull away or grow cold. If anything, they'll notice your silence and check in, saying, "Hey, you've been quiet. How are you?" But others will vanish or, worse, get passive-aggressive, supporting others louder, posting more, creating distance without explanation. Suddenly, you'll realize they were never clapping for you. They were clapping for how being near you made them look or feel. It's a hard pill to swallow because we're wired to want connection. Carl Jung said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." But sometimes, what we call transformation is just dependence. Some people don't want a friendship. They want a mirror to reflect the version of themselves they enjoy. When you stop reflecting, they feel abandoned when, in truth, they were never showing up for you. They were showing up for validation. That's not loyalty. That's self-interest dressed as affection. Don't get this wrong. There's nothing wrong with hyping people up. Encouragement is powerful, and celebration builds connection. But what happens when that celebration goes quiet? When you're the one needing support and stop playing the cheerleader? That's where the test reveals the truth. The Stoics would argue that loyalty is measured not in abundance, but in absence. Seneca said, "A friend is someone who supports you when you're no longer useful to them." Think about that. When you're no longer useful, exciting, influential, or entertaining, just human, are they still there? Sometimes, the reaction to your silence tells you more than 100 conversations could. Some will withdraw, not because they're hurt, but because the spotlight was the only thing anchoring the relationship. Once it's gone, they have no reason to stay. That might sting, but it's a gift in disguise because now you're not guessing who's real. you're watching the answers unfold. All you had to do was stop performing and start observing. This is the Stoic way, not coldness, but clarity, not judgment, but discernment. The beauty of this test is that it also teaches you who you've been giving your energy to without balance. You notice how much of yourself you've poured into others without receiving the same presence in return. You start reclaiming that energy, stop over-explaining, and stop giving front-row seats to those who never clapped for you. Silence doesn't just expose others. It heals you, returns your focus, and sharpens your inner world. That's where the Stoics lived, not in others' opinions, but in the strength of the self. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This applies to relationships, too. When you need less from others, you're less likely to settle for empty loyalty. Psychologically, pulling back resets the power dynamic. In many relationships, we don't realize how much we're chasing, seeking closeness by overgiving, staying loud, present, and available. But silence is power. It shifts the emotional terrain, saying, "I don't need to perform for you to matter." When someone pulls away the moment your energy goes quiet, you have your answer. Not because they said something wrong, but because they failed to act when words stopped flowing. Silence becomes the test, and the Stoics would say it becomes the truth. There's something humbling about watching someone walk away when there's nothing left to extract, but it's also freeing. It clears space, filters noise, and makes room for connections that don't require performance. Those who check in, not out. Who show up, not off. Isn't that what we're really looking for? Not just to be surrounded, but to be seen. Not just supported in strength, but held in silence. The first step to being a real friend is seeing people without needing anything in return, including yourself. Maybe you've been abandoning your own peace by staying loud for those who never notice you're quiet. Maybe it's time to stop clapping for others and ask, when was the last time someone clapped for you, even when you had nothing to give? Try it this week. Don't announce it, don't explain it, just pull back. See what shifts, let the reaction speak, and don't get emotional. Get clear. This isn't punishment, it's insight. Insight is the Stoic path to virtue. Clarity is peace, peace is power, and power begins with knowing who's beside you and who isn't. You might lose people, but you're not losing anything real. You're watching illusions dissolve. That's what healing looks like, not always soft, sometimes burning, breaking assumptions, but leaving you with truth. From that truth, you build again. Quietly, strategically, with fewer people but deeper roots. As Carl Jung put it, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Don't be one of them. Don't avoid the truth silence shows you. The people who remain after this test aren't guessing or pretending, they're real. Hold them close because, in a world of loud connections, quiet loyalty is rare. 2. Speak about change. There's something quietly revealing about talking openly, really openly, about change, especially the kind that shakes up your life. A big move, a new job, or starting something risky no one around you has done before. The moment you speak it into existence, even casually, the air changes. You feel it. People get quiet, some shift in their chairs, others try to act supportive but can't hide the hesitation in their eyes. It's in those subtle reactions, the long pause, the nervous chuckle, the "are you sure?" that the truth surfaces. If you're paying attention, you'll realize something profound. Most people don't fear your failure. They fear your growth because, if you change too much, you might leave them behind. The Stoics believed in facing truth without flinching, using discomfort rather than running from it. They taught that inner freedom starts with understanding what drives people and what holds them back. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a person to begin to learn what he thinks he already knows." Many think they know what's best for you, so when you suggest a bold move, their advice often reflects their discomfort, not your well-being, cloaked in the language of concern. You say, "I'm thinking of quitting my job and launching my own thing," and their tone shifts. "It's not that easy. Have you thought it through? What if it doesn't work?" On the surface, it sounds like wisdom. Underneath, it's often resistance because your change threatens their comfort. This is the second loyalty test. Not about catching anyone off guard, but about speaking your truth and seeing who's emotionally mature enough to support it. Not just tolerate it, not just nod and smile, but truly believe in your right to evolve. It's a powerful moment. You're not asking for permission. You're declaring your direction. When you do, the room divides in ways words can't explain. Some cheer, not because they understand your path, but because they love the person walking it. Others try to anchor you to what's familiar, what's safe. But the Stoics would tell you, familiarity isn't always your friend. Often, it's the rope tying you to a version of yourself you're meant to outgrow. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But becoming yourself means leaving behind others' expectations, and not everyone is ready to lose their favorite version of you. Maybe the funny one, the steady one, the always available one, or the underdog who didn't quite rise. That version made them feel needed, secure, maybe even superior. When you talk about outgrowing that role, consciously or not, they push back. They don't say, "Don't grow." They say, "Are you sure?" They don't say, "Stay small." They say, "It's risky." But the message is the same. Stay where I'm comfortable. Think about the last time you shared a big idea. Was their response excitement or skepticism, curiosity or caution? Questions are fine, but tone and energy matter. Truly loyal people's first instinct is to support you, even if they don't understand what you're chasing. They want you to win, even if your victory changes the dynamic, because they don't need you to stay small for them to feel big. That's rare, but it's real. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." That means surrounding yourself with those who encourage your evolution, who don't flinch when you level up, who don't ask you to shrink to keep the friendship familiar. The Stoics didn't believe in pleasing everyone, but in aligning with reason, virtue, and growth. Part of growth is shedding relationships that can't survive your expansion. Many mask their insecurity as love, unaware they're holding you back, even believing they're helping. Psychology tells us that when someone's identity is tied to being the more stable, smarter, or successful one, your growth threatens that identity. Not always jealousy, but fear of losing relevance. Some don't want you to change because your self-acceptance highlights their avoidance of their own. Here's the choice: dim your vision to protect their comfort, or walk forward and let their discomfort reveal the relationship's truth. This doesn't mean cutting off everyone who hesitates. It means paying attention. Loyalty isn't just about who stays, but who grows with you, supports you without needing to be central to your decision-making, and trusts your ability to make bold moves, even if they don't understand them. Try it this week. Drop a truth. Say, "I'm thinking about moving, I might start something on my own," or "I've been thinking about a total change." Then observe. Don't defend, don't over-explain, just let the silence fill the space and watch how people react. You'll see it immediately. Who cheers, who flinches, who tries to keep you where you are. Don't get angry. Get clear. Now you're not walking blind, you're walking aware. That's what the Stoics sought, not comfort, but clarity, not approval, but truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Say what's true for you, and let the reactions reveal what's true about others. This test may hurt because it shows who's only here for the version of you that made them feel safe. But that's not your job, to stay boxed in so others don't have to stretch. Your job is to grow, rise, and evolve. Those truly loyal will rise with you, even if it costs them comfort. That's what real love and friendship look like. 3. Go completely silent. Sometimes, the clearest signal comes from silence. Not cold or dramatic, not a punishment, but a pause, a quiet moment to pull back from the noise, conversations, and updates, and just breathe. In a world that moves fast and speaks louder than it listens, silence is rare and powerful. When you go quiet, not to disappear, but to observe, you see things differently. You realize some relationships only survive when you're present, available, and giving. The moment you stop broadcasting your life, the real dynamics show. Going silent isn't about cutting people off. It's about creating space to notice who values your presence without constant reminders. The Stoics believed in stepping back from chaos to reconnect with reason. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions, than your own soul." Silence is that retreat, helping you return to your center and evaluate what matters. Sometimes, we confuse attention for affection. Just because someone responds to your messages doesn't mean they care. Just because they laugh at your jokes doesn't mean they see you. The question is, who notices your absence, not just your activity? When you go silent, even for a day or two, the world doesn't stop, but the truth surfaces. Who reaches out, who checks in, not because you posted something worrying or dramatic, but because your presence shifted. These people feel your absence because they're tuned in. No performance or updates required. That loyalty is rare, quiet, and consistent, and you'll never see it if you're always filling the air with sound. Carl Jung said, "Loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you." Sometimes, silence is the only way to truly listen to yourself and others. But here's the hard part. When you go quiet, you see who was only clapping when you were dancing, engaged because you were entertaining, not invested. It's a harsh but necessary truth. Stoicism isn't about keeping people around to avoid discomfort. It's about facing reality with open eyes and a steady heart. Epictetus taught, "We should learn to wish that everything should come to pass exactly as it does." Don't resist what silence reveals. Welcome it, even if it stings, because silence doesn't just expose others, it shows how much noise you've tolerated to avoid feeling alone. This test begins with calm curiosity. Stop posting, texting, or reaching out. Step back for 48 hours, not to play a game, but to reset. Use the time to reconnect with your thoughts, to listen to the quiet voice drowned out by noise. In that stillness, filters fall. You'll notice who calls, texts, or checks in, and who doesn't. That's not disappointment. It's data, guiding where to invest your energy. Silence also reveals your habits. Maybe you've been over-communicating to feel seen or oversharing to feel valid. When you pull back, you realize how much energy you've scattered, unreciprocated. The Stoics remind us, what's not in your control isn't your responsibility. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Craving constant connection is a kind of poverty, of peace, of self-worth. Silence restores balance. When you stop speaking, you start watching, and every action reflects reality. Without your voice, other voices rise or vanish, showing some relationships only lived because you were resuscitating them with check-ins, memes, and effort. Take that away, and the connection flatlines. It hurts at first, but soon you feel lighter, cleaner, because clarity makes space for better things. In that quiet, you appreciate the rare ones who check on you because they care. No agenda, no performance, just, "Hey, you've been quiet. Everything okay?" That message feels like presence, not a reminder. Loyalty, in its honest form, isn't loud, it doesn't parade. It notices, listens, and cares, even when there's nothing to gain. When people don't show up during your silence, it doesn't mean they're bad, just not built for real connection. They need noise to feel bonded, your visibility to remember you exist. That's not cruelty, it's capacity. The Stoics would say, know the difference. Don't place your peace in the hands of those unaware they're holding it. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Silence helps you reclaim that power, reminding you your value isn't in how often you're seen, but in how deeply you're felt. This isn't just a test of others. It's a test of you. Can you handle your own silence, resist explaining it, or stop wondering if you're forgotten? That's where growth happens, between needing to be noticed and choosing to be grounded. Carl Jung believed, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Silence is that awakening, stripping distractions to reveal what and who matters. Try it. Go silent for a weekend. Pull back from group chats, don't post selfies, don't comment to stay visible. Let the dust settle, then note who comes forward with intention, who fades, and how you feel in the quiet, stronger, clearer, more grounded. This test isn't easy, especially if you're used to holding emotional threads together, but that's why it's needed. Loyalty isn't measured by who shows up when it's convenient, but when you're no longer performing. Keep those who pass this test close. They're rare, needing no reminders, staying for your soul, not the show. Let those who fail go without bitterness, with the quiet understanding that not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next season. The Stoics believed inner peace comes from aligning what you know with how you live. Let silence guide you to that alignment. 4. Show them your weak side. There's a weight to always being seen as the strong one, the steady hand, the go-to, the one who has it together. People admire your resilience, focus, and ability to keep going, but strength without space to rest becomes a performance. When you stop performing, the crowd thins. Few admit this reality. When you say, "I'm tired," or "I don't know what I'm doing right now," the room gets quieter, and the support you had feels conditional. This isn't because you've done something wrong. It's because you've entered a space that makes people uncomfortable, vulnerability. The Stoics didn't tell us to hide weakness, but to understand it, accepting life's difficulties, not pretending they don't exist. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This includes emotional difficulty. The fourth loyalty test isn't about creating drama, but being honest. Let someone see your doubt or uncertainty. Say, "I don't have it all figured out right now." Then step back, not with fear but curiosity. Watch their response. Do they move closer, offer support, show understanding, or subtly distance themselves, change the subject, or go quiet? The reaction tells everything. Not everyone can handle your humanity. Some are drawn to your strength because it benefits them. Your confidence reassures, your energy lifts, your clarity guides. When that image shifts, when you're no longer the invincible version they're attached to, it disrupts the balance. They're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the discomfort your vulnerability creates. Nothing brings people closer to their own soul than witnessing someone else being real. Saying, "I'm struggling," holds up a mirror, and some aren't ready for what they see. That's not your failure. It's a sign of where they are. We all wear masks. The "I've got this" mask, the "I'm fine" mask, the "I don't need help" mask, to keep the peace or avoid discomfort. But the Stoic path isn't about comfort. It's about truth. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you can share your reality without shame, you're walking that path. How others respond is their test, not yours. Vulnerability isn't about volume, but sincerity. A simple, "Lately, I've been off my game," or "I'm feeling lost and don't know why," is enough. What matters is what follows. The real ones lean in, listen, and hold space without trying to fix you, shrink away, or make it about themselves. That's loyalty, not just clapping when you're winning, but sitting beside you when you're unsure. Some love being close to strength, but confuse closeness with support, standing by you when your light is bright, unable to handle the dim. When they retreat, let them, not with bitterness, but wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Don't respond with resentment. Respond with clarity. A relationship that can't handle your low moments isn't built for life's storms. This test also helps you. Vulnerability tests your inner safety. Can you share your truth without judging yourself or spiraling into shame? Vulnerability carries quiet power, saying, "This is me right now, unfiltered, unpolished, still worthy." When someone meets you there, not out of pity, but respect, the bond is real, rooted in understanding, the foundation of true connection. Try it this week. Share something honest, nothing dramatic, just real. Maybe, "I've been doubting myself lately," or "I'm tired of pretending I'm okay." Don't soften it with humor or rush to change the subject. Let it land. Watch, not with fear, but observation. Some won't know what to say. That's okay. It's not about perfect responses, but presence. Those who stay, even awkwardly, pass the test. If someone pulls away, it's not a loss, but a reveal. You didn't lose a supporter. You uncovered a spectator. One roots for your whole being, wins, losses, and in between. The other was only there for the highlight reel. The Stoics would say it's better to have one real friend than 1,000 hollow echoes. This test may feel scary, especially if your identity is tied to strength, but vulnerability isn't the opposite of strength, it's the gateway. True confidence comes not from always having answers, but from being honest when you don't. Seneca put it well, "No man was ever wise by chance. Wisdom is earned by letting go of the need to always seem put together." 5. Give them a chance to choose themselves ***. Sometimes, the clearest truths about people come not from what they say, but what they choose not to do. When no one's looking, when there's no pressure, no performance, no audience, true character quietly emerges. The hardest thing to accept is that those closest to you will face moments where choosing themselves comes at your expense. Not in a dramatic, movie-like betrayal, but in a small, subtle decision where loyalty costs something and disloyalty rewards them. That's where the fifth test lives, and you won't need to manufacture it. Life will offer it. Your job is to be still enough to notice. In this test, you don't confront, accuse, or hint. You wait. When someone faces a chance to gain by withholding, stepping away, or quietly compromising your trust, observe. No reaction, no warning, just silence. True loyalty doesn't need instructions. It acts on principle, not pressure. Epictetus said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself." And to you, too. Imagine sharing something confidential, personal, sensitive, meaningful, like a plan not ready to announce or a vulnerability. Life hands that person a moment to benefit by exposing it, talking behind your back, or moving ahead without you. Don't panic. Wait. The test is happening, and they don't even know it. Their choice answers a question you didn't ask aloud. Carl Jung said, "Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people." This test isn't about assuming the worst, but acknowledging human instincts, survival, ambition, self-interest. When someone chooses loyalty despite those instincts, showing restraint when they could justify gain, that's a rare friend. What makes this test uncomfortable is that those who fail often do so without malice, justifying it. "It was just business. I didn't think it would matter," or "I didn't want to bother you." These sound reasonable, even caring, but they hide a truth. They prioritize their gain over your trust. The mask slips, revealing not evil, maybe not even dishonesty, but a conditional relationship. That stings because we hope those we love will choose us, especially when there's nothing in it for them. Seneca said, "Loyalty is the holiest good in the human heart." But loyalty only means something when it's inconvenient, when it costs time, opportunity, or influence, and someone still chooses it. That's when it's real. Until then, it's just performance. The Stoics cared about what endures when pressure is applied and reward is absent. Don't force this test or create traps. Just live honestly. Life will provide chances. You'll share something vulnerable, and someone can protect or exploit it. You'll rely on their discretion, and they can honor or trade it for approval. You'll show your struggles, and they can guard or gossip about them. Their choice is the test, and you don't need to say a word, just watch. This test teaches about values, not what people say they have, but what they live by. Integrity is easy to claim without pressure, but when a small betrayal brings a big benefit, values become visible. It's not just about betrayal, but how they justify it. Do they acknowledge it, come clean, take responsibility, or act like nothing happened? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Don't argue about loyalty. Watch actions. Loyalty is quiet, showing up in what people don't do, don't say, don't take, don't expose, even when they could. That's unshakable loyalty. This test may cost connections, revealing trusted people as less solid than you thought. That's okay, you're not losing someone. You're removing distortion, cleaning the lens, replacing hope with knowledge. Knowledge, the Stoics believed, is the start of wisdom. Once you know someone's capacity, you stop overextending, hoping they'll grow into something they're not. Meet them where they are or step back in peace. Psychologically, this protects you. Doubting those close to you drains energy. Wondering if they'd have your back in tough times spends emotional effort on defense. But seeing how someone acts when the choice is uncomfortable lets you deepen the bond or draw a boundary. Either way, you win, moving with truth, not hope. This test also challenges you. Are you loyal when it costs something, when no one's watching, when the easy road tempts you to put yourself first? It's easy to talk about loyalty untested, but when doing right means sacrificing an opportunity, secret, or shortcut, do you stay solid? This test builds you, sharpens awareness, teaches you to trust patterns over promises, and helps you release people with gratitude for showing you early. It reminds you to become the person you wish others to be. Those who pass this test, even quietly, carry a weight others don't. You see the difference between presence and principle, between someone near you and someone for you. That shift changes how you move. More selective, more aware, less available to everyone, but more present with the few who've proven themselves. That's not arrogance. It's alignment. When you find someone who chooses you over convenience, protects what's yours even when you're not there, stays solid in silence, they're not just in your circle, but your core. Rare, but worth everything. Loyalty isn't proven in comfort, but in quiet, subtle moments when no one's watching and nothing's guaranteed. The real ones won't flinch, fade, or fold. They'll stand with you in silence, uncertainty, and truth. Once you find them, you never move the same again. If this resonated, watch the next video on your screen for a deeper dive into the mindset that protects your peace and sharpens your path. Thank you for being part of Stoic Journal. Your growth matters here.